Shipping canals, they're the arteries of global trade, connecting oceans, seas, and rivers to make the world a smaller place. They are engineering marvels that cut through continents and even allow the largest ships to pass through land. So for today's video, we're counting down 15 of the biggest shipping canals in the world. Number 15. The Göta Canal. The Göta Canal stands as Sweden's most iconic engineering feat, connecting Gothenburg on the country's western coast to the Baltic Sea. Stretching over 120 miles, this waterway has evolved from a vital trade route to a cherished tourist destination. The canal was the brainchild of German-born Swedish officer Baltzar von Platen, who saw it as a key to modernizing Sweden's economy, facilitating the transport of goods and bypassing the costly taxes imposed by Denmark. Construction began in the early 19th century as a massive undertaking that took 22 years and employed more than 58,000 people. The canal has 58 locks scattered along its route, and these locks, which helped Sir and visionary, he believed that linking Sweden's lakes and rivers would stimulate mining, agriculture, and trade. However, the Göta Canal didn't immediately live up to its economic expectations. Although it allowed ships to bypass the Øresund Strait and avoid the Danish tolls, it struggled to compete with the burgeoning railway system after its completion in 1832. The arrival of trains in 1855 rendered the canal less vital for commercial transport, and by the late 19th century, traffic had dwindled to just a few bulk goods such as coal and ore. In the modern era, the Göta Canal has found new life as a tourist attraction. It draws nearly 2 million people each year, offering boat tours, recreational cruises, and scenic views of Sweden's countryside. The term divorce ditch humorously refers to the challenges couples face navigating the narrow canal at its locks. It's an example of the canal's popularity as a leisure destination. But it's not just about the boats. Hiking, cycling, and local history enrich the experience too. Caspian, the Sea of Azov, and the Black Sea. The canal plays a dual role, serving as a major transport route while also supplying a significant portion of Moscow's water. The canal itself has a depth of about 18 feet, which allows it to accommodate a variety of vessels, and its locks are designed to have boats up to 951 feet long and 98 feet wide. Now, one of the primary advantages of its substantial size is the range of cargo it can transport. It's become a critical part of the unified deep water system in European Russia, which links key cities, industries, and ports across the country. By connecting Moscow to 5 seas, it offers economic and logistical advantages that are hard to match. It was constructed between 1932 and 1937. The canal was built under the supervision of the Soviet secret police, with over 200,000 Gulag prisoners contributing to the construction. Despite the canal's modern-day benefits, the cost of the construction was immense, both in human lives and in labor, under harsh conditions that saw thousands of prisoners perish, towering at 82 feet. Although the accompanying statue of Joseph Stalin was removed during the period of de-Stalinization, the monuments serve as reminders of the canal's Soviet-era legacy. Number 13. The Welland Canal. The Welland Canal, a 27-mile waterway that links Lake Erie to Lake Ontario, is one of the key shipping routes of the Great Lakes. Part of the broader St. Lawrence Seaway, this vital canal allows ships to bypass Niagara Falls, offering a deep draft passage between two of the largest freshwater lakes in the world. Its size, depth, and functionality have made it indispensable to the region's economy. It's notably sized to accommodate larger vessels, those up to 740 feet in length and 78 feet in beam, with a maximum draft of about 26 feet. These dimensions allow it to handle a broad range of cargo ships, making it a critical link in the movement of goods, especially between Canada and the United States. The canal operates with a total of 8 locks, which work together to sink through annually, transporting 40 million tons of cargo. The canal plays an essential role in facilitating trade. It was originally expected to function only until about 2030 due to the age of the infrastructure, but continual improvements and upgrades have extended its life expectancy. The canal remains critical to the Canadian economy. Efforts to upgrade locks, improve efficiency, and modernize the system continue to ensure its relevance for the next century, despite the occasional proposal for a new, larger canal that would bypass the existing one. Number 12. The Panama Canal. The Panama Canal is one of the world's most remarkable feats of engineering, cutting through the Isthmus of Panama to create a shortcut that links the Atlantic and Pacific. It spans about 50 miles and it serves as a vital artery for global maritime trade, saving ships thousands of miles and weeks off their journey. Before its construction, vessels faced the treacherous journey around the southern tip of South America, risking the fierce winds and unpredictable can raise or lower a vessel by 85 feet, lifting ships to a height of the Gatun Lake, an artificial freshwater reservoir created to reduce excavation costs. About 200 million gallons of water are used each time a ship passes through, making water management here a critical concern. The canal's history is a tale of ambition, setbacks, and perseverance. It was originally conceived by the French in the late 19th century. This project was abandoned due to engineering difficulties and a high mortality rate. After the French failed, the United States took over in 1904 and completed the canal in 1914. The shift in control from French to American hands is a pivotal moment in the canal's history, highlighting the scale and the strategic importance of the waterway. As an interesting tidbit about the canal is its unique directional travel. Now, while the Atlantic Ocean lies to the north of Panama and the Pacific Ocean to the south, ships traveling through the canal from the Atlantic to the Pacific are technically heading southeast. This is due to the shape of the isthmus at this point. Charges imposed by Liverpool's docks. The canal has played a crucial role in Manchester's rise as a major industrial hub. The ship canal remains one of the largest ones in the world today, but it's not just the size that's a point of pride. It was key to its success and continues to hold significance for modern transport and logistics. The length of the canal is impressive, 36 miles of inland navigation that can accommodate vessels up to 600 feet long, though most vessels are regularly limited to around 530 feet. The canal has a maximum boat beam of about 65 feet, but regularly limited to 63, ensuring safe and efficient passage for the various range of vessels. The canal's size was designed to handle a wide variety of ships, from smaller coastal boats to massive intercontinental cargo liners. It's no wonder that the canal became a vital component in Manchester's industrial economy, as it was able to handle large volumes of freight. Although modern vessels have grown too large for the canal, its size still allows significant shipping, and current projects aim to increase its cargo capacity up to 100,000. It serves as a part of the unified deep water system of European Russia, which helps streamline the movement of goods across a vast region. In 2004 alone, the canal carried over 10.9 million tons of cargo, much of it oil and oil products. This capacity enables Russia to maintain strong links to global markets, transporting goods that are essential, not just for the economy, but also for industries such as agriculture, energy, and manufacturing. An interesting feature of the Volga-Don Canal is its use of locks. The canal has 13 locks in total, including 9 on the Volga slope and 4 on the Don. These locks help lift the ships over the natural elevation differences, which peak at about 289 feet. While the locks are relatively small compared to other major canals, their role in keeping the waterway navigable is indispensable. Vessels up to 463 feet long and 55 feet wide can travel through it, but this size restriction limits the canal's ability to handle the larger modern ships. The canal is an essential link between Russia's historical and modern water lake to Puget Sound, an inland saltwater sea. Spanning 8 miles through the city of Seattle, this canal not only reshaped the geography of the region, but also revolutionized its maritime infrastructure. Completed in 1934 after decades of planning and construction, the canal stands as one of the largest and most significant shipping canals in the world. With a maximum boat draft of 29 feet, it accommodates sizable commercial and recreational vessels. The canal's engineered to overcome the 20-foot difference in water levels between Lake Washington and Puget Sound, and this is managed by the Chittenden Locks, a critical structure that allows vessels to traverse this transition seamlessly. The canal links multiple bodies of water, creating an interconnected maritime system. Navigation begins at Webster Point on Lake Washington and passes through notable landmarks such as Union Bay, Portage Bay, Lake Union, and the Fremont Cut, before reaching Salmon Bay and Shilsole Bay. This layout not only facilitates efficient maritime movement, but also integrates Seattle's water ship canal. The Houston Ship Channel is one of the busiest and most vital maritime corridors in the United States, stretching about 52 miles from the heart of Houston to the Gulf of Mexico. This crucial waterway connects the city to global trade routes, directly influencing the economic lifeblood for the region. The channel, formed by the dredging of the Buffalo Bayou and the Galveston Bay, was first utilized for shipping in 1830. By the early 20th century, it became clear that expanding the channel was necessary to accommodate growing traffic. In 1914, the channel officially opened after deepening and widening, which significantly boosted the Port of Houston's prominence. Today, the channel has been further expanded to a width of 530 feet and a depth of up to 45 feet, allowing massive ships to traverse it. In addition to bulk cargo, the Houston Ship Channel is a key transport route for oil and gas. Situated in proximity to Texas's vast oil fields, this channel serves as a gateway for transporting crude oil. It's home to the second-largest petrochemical complex, sometimes passing very close to other vessels, requiring precise and skillful maneuvering. This maneuver became a local term and a point of pride for experienced sailors who are accustomed to the intricacies of the waterway. Moving on to number 7, the Bosphorus Strait. The Bosphorus Strait is more than just a narrow waterway connecting two seas. It's a vital conduit of trade, history, and culture. Stretching over 19 miles, this natural strait divides the continents of Europe and Asia, making it one of the most strategically important waterways in the world. With a maximum width of 2.3 miles and a depth ranging from 120 to 400 feet, the Bosphorus serves as an essential link between the Black Sea and the Sea of Marmara, and by extension the Mediterranean Sea. Its size is both an advantage and a challenge. While its narrowest point is a mere 2,300 feet, it may seem like a bottleneck, it is precisely the construction that gives this strait its political and economic weight. As of recently, the strait handles over 50,000 vessel transit. Greek word Bosporos, meaning cow's ford, linked to the myth of Io, who according to legend was driven across the strait while transformed into a cow. Number 6. The Kiel Canal. The Kiel Canal, at 61 miles long, stands as one of the busiest artificial waterways in the world. Connecting the North Sea to the Baltic, it offers a shortcut of over 250 miles compared to the long, rough journey around Denmark. The canal is wide enough to accommodate ships up to 772 feet in length, with a width of 106 feet. It's also 37 feet deep, offering a direct path that bypasses challenges of the open sea. For those on a time crunch, the Kiel Canal is a game-changer, saving vessels a significant amount of time and money by reducing the distance ship needs to travel between the North and Baltic. Not just a shortcut, the canal also serves as a hub for European trade, connecting key maritime industries and shipping routes that extend far beyond Germany. On average, nearly 100 ships pass through the canal every day. The Treaty of Versailles in 1919 internationalized the canal, allowing for ships to access it from countries around the world, though it remained under German control. The canal has since become a vital component for the region's economy, and rules include limitations on ship size, with vessels that exceed certain dimensions requiring additional support, such as pilots or tugboats. Such regulations ensure the smooth flow of traffic and safe passage for all ships, from the largest oil tankers to smaller pleasure craft. Number 5. The Saimaa Canal. The Saimaa Canal, spanning a length of 27 miles, serves as a link connecting the vast waters of Lake Saimaa in Finland to the Gulf of Finland near Vyborg in Russia. Today, it stands as one of the largest and most important shipping canals in the world. While not as widely known as global giants like the Suez or Panama, it holds its own as a vital waterway for Finnish and Russian commerce. Its location enables a transport of goods such as timber, paper, and other raw materials, the passage of ships through varying elevations. The total elevation change from the Gulf of Finland to Lake Saimaa is 248 feet, a remarkable drop that requires careful navigation, but also adds to the canal's significance as a trade route. It links altogether the Finnish lakeland, a network of 120 interconnected lakes, to the global market, providing a relatively easy shipping route to the Gulf of Finland. But the canal as a shared resource between Finland and Russia has been subject to various historical shifts. Recently, after Finland conceded the Karelian Isthmus and Vyborg to the Soviet Union in 1940, the border division meant that the traffic was halted, and it wasn't until 1963 that Finland was granted a 50-year lease. Number 4. The Suez Canal. At 120 miles long, the Suez Canal is one of the most strategically significant waterways in the world. It connects the Mediterranean Sea to the Red Sea, providing an essential shortcut between Europe and Asia. The reduction in travel time can save ships anywhere from 10 to 2. Work officially began in 1859, led by French diplomat Ferdinand de Lesseps. Over 30,000 workers from various nations toiled over a decade, often under grueling conditions. Despite challenges and opposition, especially from the British, the canal was finally opened in 1869, drastically altering global trade and navigation. However, the canal is not without its limitations. It can only accommodate vessels up to 240,000 tons and a maximum height of 225 feet above the waterline. Ships that exceed these dimensions must offload part of their cargo to smaller vessels before proceeding. Despite this, though, it still remains as one of the most important and busiest waterways for global trade. Now, while much of the early construction was done by hand, including digging with thousands of peasants forced into labor, later stages of the project incorporated steam-powered dredgers and shovels. The canal's physical depth of 79 feet and width of 974 feet were designed to accommodate the large ships of the time. And in terms of modern global trade, the Suez Canal serves as the mega, which in turn links to the Baltic Sea. Opened on August 2, 1933, the canal is a monumental feat of engineering, but its construction came at a significant cost. The canal was built using forced labor from Gulag prisoners during Stalin's regime, and its history is marred by the tragic loss of life among the workers, with between 12 to 25,000 people dying during its construction. The canal was originally called the Stalin White Sea-Baltic Canal, reflecting its connection to Stalin's ambitious goals under the first five-year plan. Its construction, though remarkable in its scale, was not without its limitations. Its depth of only 11.5 feet was far below the initial target of 17.5 feet, and this shallow depth restricts the canal's ability to accommodate larger vessels. As a result, it's most effective for transporting cargo up to 600 tons, far less than the 2,000 to 3,000 ton capacity of typical seagoing vessels. The limited depth was a direct result of the tight time constraints of Stalin's five-year plan, which forced compromise. And as a triumph of Soviet industrialization, it never really lived up to its original economic potential. In its early years, the canal carried about 1 million tons of cargo annually, but its capacity was underutilized due to the depth restrictions and the limited size of the vessels that could navigate it. By the mid-1980s, traffic volume had reached its peak at 7.3 million tons of cargo. But after the collapse of the Soviet Union, usage of the canal sharply declined. In the early 2000s, it carried only a fraction of its former tonnage, with just about 0.3 million tons in 2002. Despite this, though, the canal still plays a specialized role in Russia's economy today. It's used primarily for the transportation of large, heavy industrial equipment. In the summer of 2007, for example, equipment for the Vankor oil field in Siberia was transported via the canal. And from there, it was shipped further north by ocean-going vessels to reach remote Arctic regions. The White Sea-Baltic Canal is also known for its infrastructure, which includes 5 hydroelectric power plants that provide a total capacity of 200 paralleled feet of human construction, one that shaped China's history for over 1,400 years and continues to serve the country today. The size is one of its most remarkable features. It spans a portion of China, linking key economic regions and providing efficient means of transport for goods and people. It's divided into several major sections, including the Jinghang Grand Canal, and this system passes through 6 provinces, connecting the northern city of Beijing to the southern city of Hangzhou. Over the centuries, this size has allowed the canal to become not just a transportation route, but an essential economic asset for the country. Construction on it began as early as the 5th century BC, during the spring and autumn period, but it was under Emperor Yang of the Sui dynasty in the 7th century that the canal was completed. Over time, it became a key artery for trade, linking the Silk Road and other major trade routes with the interior of China. During the Tang and Song dynasties, it helped boost trade between the north and the south, making it one of the most important transport routes in the empire. The northern regions of China. Its size and significance have earned it a place among the world's greatest transport systems. It's been praised by travelers throughout history, including Marco Polo and Matteo Ricci, all who recorded experiences of traveling along the canal. Today, the Grand Canal is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's recognized for its cultural and historical importance. Number 1. The St. Lawrence Seaway. Stretching 370 miles, the St. Lawrence Seaway is a deep waterway system that links the Great Lakes to the Atlantic Ocean, creating a transportation route for larger ocean-going vessels. Completed in 1959 after decades of planning, it provides one of the most efficient shipping channels in the world, connecting major industrial and agricultural heartlands in North America to global markets. At its core, the St. Lawrence Seaway is a series of locks and canals designed to bypass the natural obstacles that once hindered the navigation of large ships. These locks allowed vessels to rise and fall across the different levels of water between the Great Lakes. Aspects of this seaway is how it allows ships to travel a 326-foot drop between Lake Ontario and Lake Erie. To overcome this dramatic fall, a series of 8 locks are used, which collectively handle the world's largest waterway lifting operation. Each lock is capable of raising or lowering vessels in as little as 30 minutes, making it a highly efficient mechanism for maintaining its flow. But beyond the commercial benefits, the seaways also left a profound environmental impact. The introduction of invasive species, most notably the zebra mussel, has caused significant ecological shifts in the Great Lakes. Additionally, the artificial control of water levels has affected recreational fishing in the region, though efforts are underway to address those environmental challenges. The St. Lawrence Seaway, however, offers more than just commercial and environmental importance. It's also a hub for recreation. The submerged old powerhouse near Loch 23 has become a popular dive site, home to a wealth of underwater life. But in a world increasingly dominated by road and rail transportation,